Paul Heyman will betray Roman Reigns. WWE Raw sees an increase in viewership for November 11th. Why the WWE is taping the Survivor Series go-home edition of SmackDown early. Seth Rollins confirms the Shield will never reunite. WWE fans' criticism against Jade Cargill is invalid. Dakota Kai's WWE return brutally mocked. Baron Corbin responds to Kurt Angle being disappointed. Over his treatment in the WWE confirms The Rock's WrestleMania 41 opponent. The Rock is on Solo Sikoa's side. Let's dive in. WWE Raw sees an increase in viewership for November 11th. Monday Night Raw, WWE's flagship program, remains a focal point for fans and analysts tracking its ratings. The figures for the November 11th episode have been released, shedding light on the show's current performance and viewer engagement. According to Programming Insider, the November 11th episode of Monday Night Raw drew 1.56 million viewers, which is an increase from the previous week's audience of 1.465 million viewers. The rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic garnered a 0.485 rating, which is an increase from last week's 0.48 rating. This week's episode of Monday Night Raw saw Dakota Kai making her triumphant return from injury, the Wyatt Six suffered a legitimate beatdown, and many other such moments took place throughout the show. Fans eagerly await the next episode to see if Monday Night Raw can boost its viewership, with anticipation already building for the upcoming events. Why the WWE is taping the Survivor Series go-home edition of SmackDown early. WWE is making waves this holiday season with a surprising decision to give their talent a break. For the first time, WWE will not run a live taping for SmackDown on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving. Instead, the episode will be pre-taped on November 22nd in Salt Lake City, letting talent and staff enjoy a well-deserved holiday with their families. Dave Meltzer spilled the details on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "The November 22nd SmackDown, which is Salt Lake City, they're going to be taping 2 shows. Because the 29th, which is the day after Thanksgiving, this would be, I think, the first time they've ever done this. They are not going to run a taping that night, so all the talent can spend Thanksgiving night with their families." Why the shift? Meltzer explained. If they have a Friday taping, it's in Salt Lake City, you got to fly out the day before. If it's not in the vicinity of the Northeast or the Southeast, because most of the talent lives in Florida. But the point of this all is they're letting people spend all Thanksgiving with their family, and they're going to get Friday off. Meltzer went on to highlight the change from WWE's previous practices under old management, saying, "The old ownership, they hadn't had people work Thanksgiving, but they did have people having to fly on Thanksgiving, to get to the Friday tapings. That's happened for years, so they're not doing that this year." This move is being seen as a refreshing shift for the company, giving their superstars and staff the opportunity to relax and enjoy the holiday without worrying about travel and tapings. It's a nod to improving work-life balance in an industry known for its relentless schedule. What do you think of WWE's decision to let their talent take Thanksgiving off? Could this be a sign of more family-friendly policies in the future? Seth Rollins confirms the Shield will never reunite. Sami Zayn had tried to recruit Seth Rollins for an important match. The latest episode of Friday Night SmackDown saw the original bloodline reuniting after Zayn decided to stay on Roman Reigns' side. Following this, WWE officially confirmed that this year's men's War Games match will feature the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline. As of now, both teams have 4 members. However, the War Games match needs 5 participants. Both sides were seen attempting to recruit a 5th member on the latest episode of Monday Night Raw. At one point backstage, Sami Zayn was seen asking Seth Rollins to join forces with them and reminded him about the time he and Roman Reigns spent together while they were part of the Shield faction. The Visionary declined the offer. In another segment, Solo Sikoa approached Rollins to join his team. In return, Seth Rollins said he would never team up with Roman Reigns wannabe and left. However, that was not all that grabbed the attention of fans. The former heavyweight champion indirectly confirmed that the Shield might never reunite. He said he would never team up with the original tribal chief again, which is a subtle indication we might never see the faction together. "Never again in my life will I team with Roman Reigns, but I will never join forces with a wannabe Roman Reigns," said Rollins. Additionally, Dean Ambrose, the 3rd member of the Shield, is signed under AEW as Jon Moxley. His contract will expire in 2027, which means that in any case we won't see the entire group reunite. The next episode of Monday Night Raw was taped just after the November 11th edition of the show. Fans in attendance posted a spoiler clip from the taped show that has gone viral on the internet. A clip from Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed's match has gone viral. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu ran into each other, costing the Drip God an important match. They raised Bronson Reed's hand, and the Usos and Sami Zayn entered to save Rollins from the bloodline, indicating that both teams seemingly found 5th members. It will be interesting to see how Roman Reigns reacts if Rollins ultimately joins them to face the Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games 2024. WWE fans' criticism against Jade Cargill is invalid. Jade Cargill has been receiving some flack from WWE fans for quite some time now. However, a veteran thinks these criticisms are not significant at this point. Since jumping ship from AEW to WWE, Jade has been steadily working to reach her full potential in the ring. While fans agree that she does have problems with experience that lead to her botching at times, her presence and aura are undeniable. According to Bill Apter, her progression rate and other qualities are enough to book her as the new Women's U.S. Champion. Speaking on Sportskeeda's Unscripted, the veteran journalist stated that Cargill was moving along quite well and that the botches would diminish once she became a singles star. She is moving along quite well on the furthering of her skills in the ring. I think more so she would be a better competitor without botching more in single matches than in tag teams where you have got 3 other people in there calling shots and what you are doing. Sometimes it's probably a lot of mass confusion that we don't even think about. I just think as a singles star, the botches are not going to happen as often as they did in the tag teams. For now, only time will tell what WWE has in store for Jade Cargill down the line. Dakota Kai's WWE return brutally mocked. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo reviewed this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. He spoke about one specific angle, where Damage Control was reunited with their longtime member Dakota Kai. Kai was out of action for the last 3 months. The star showed up this week on the Red brand to help her team exact revenge on Pure Fusion Collective in a 6-woman tag team match. Dakota's presence proved to be a major factor as Damage Control won the match after Sky hit an over-the-moonsault on Shayna Baszler for the win. This week on Legion of Raw, Vince Russo sarcastically remarked that Kai's return was a huge moment on Raw. The veteran writer exaggerated his excitement, highlighting the lack of significance of her return. He even joked about how WWE fans had been waiting for months and months for her comeback. The huge return of Dakota Kai. We've been waiting for months and months and months. There was backstage. Backstage, we had Damage Control, and they joined for the big reunion. I jumped out of my seat. I was dancing around the living room. Sky is already gunning for Liv Morgan and the Women's World Championship. With Dakota Kai strengthening the ranks of the faction, it will be interesting to see what Damage Control is truly capable of in the coming weeks in WWE. Baron Corbin responds to Kurt Angle being disappointed over his treatment in the WWE. Baron Corbin, known for his toughness in the ring, had a strong run on NXT last year before moving to SmackDown. However, after months off TV, he was recently released. Corbin has now responded to Kurt Angle's disappointment over how he was treated before his release. Kurt Angle hasn't competed in the ring for over 5 years, as his last match was against Baron Corbin at WrestleMania 35 in 2019, which turned out to be his final bout, and fans felt Corbin was a bad choice for a retirement match. Baron Corbin's surprising win over Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 35 didn't lead to the push many expected. Despite also winning the King of the Ring tournament, Corbin struggled to gain momentum on the main roster and was ultimately released this month. In a recent interview, Kurt Angle described Corbin as underrated and expressed disappointment that Corbin's win over him didn't help Corbin's career. Angle even felt his retirement match against Corbin was wasted, since it didn't elevate Corbin as he had hoped. Baron, I think he's underrated. I think it kinda sucks. They started utilizing him the way they should have. They had him beat me, which I was okay with. It was my last match, and obviously you're going to lose your last match when you retire. Baron, after that, he ended up winning King of the Ring and then nothing else happened with him. It's a little disappointing to know that he beat a legend at WrestleMania in the Legend's last match and they didn't really do much with him after that. For me, it makes me feel like I did that for nothing. It's not like, screw you Angle, but it kinda is. In response to Kurt Angle's comments, Baron Corbin took to social media to express his gratitude. He shared that one of his biggest wishes was to have become world champion, as it would have honored what Angle did for him by choosing him for the WrestleMania 35 match. Corbin expressed his deep appreciation and regret, saying he wished he could have achieved more in WWE to make Angle's gesture truly meaningful. To be fair, that's one of the reasons I wish I had become world champ. It would pay honor to what Kurt did for me. I will forever appreciate it and wish I could have done more to make it worth it for him. We have also reported that Baron Corbin's WWE release came down to the wire and Baron Corbin believes WWE fumbled him as well. Nonetheless, it remains to be seen what the future holds for Baron Corbin, as fans feel he should thrive in the independent circuit. The WWE confirms The Rock's WrestleMania 41 opponent. For the first time since Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 40, The Rock returned to WWE at the Bad Blood 2024 Premium Live event after several months of absence. The Final Boss's comeback has opened up new and more exciting doors for the Bloodline saga. However, upon his return, The Rock left fans confused about whom he actually wanted to face, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, as the final boss stood on the entrance ramp and set his eyes on Reigns, Rhodes, and Jimmy Uso. Before leaving, the Great One counted to 3 on his fingers and made a throat-slash gesture. It seems like WWE may have subtly confirmed The Rock's opponent for WrestleMania 41. Next year will be vital for the Stamford-based company, as Monday Night Raw will move to Netflix, and the promotion wants it to be grand. WWE recently revealed a new promotional poster for SmackDown in which Solo Sikoa replaces Roman Reigns. This is a major hint that he will be drafted to the Red brand next year. Later, a report by 4U Wrestling, formerly known as Zero News, indicated that the original Tribal and the entire Bloodline would be drafted to the Red brand. Though The Rock is a free agent, he might be majorly booked on Raw instead of SmackDown, which indicates that his opponent at WrestleMania 41 is most likely Roman Reigns. Before leaving WWE on the Raw after WrestleMania 40, The Rock promised Cody Rhodes that he would return, as their story had just started. However, despite subtle hints and multiple reports leaning towards the final boss versus the American Nightmare, signs point to The Rock being more deeply connected to the Bloodline saga instead. During his return at Bad Blood 2024, Solo Sikoa leaked a significant spoiler that the final boss return at the Atlanta event was part of the plan. Over the coming months, we may see The Rock reveal himself as the true mastermind behind the fall of Roman Reigns. All the dots connect and suggest he will be part of the family drama soon. Cody Rhodes is currently engaged in a heated rivalry with Kevin Owens. The prizefighter felt betrayed when the American Nightmare shook hands with his bitter enemy, Roman Reigns. Tensions peaked at Bad Blood 2024 when Owens launched an attack on Rhodes in the parking lot after the show went off air. Things took an ugly turn after Kevin Owens severely injured Randy Orton, a mutual friend who was trying to mediate things. The Viper is currently out of action indefinitely. However, in a shocking twist, we might see Orton return near WrestleMania 41 and turn his back on Rhodes instead of punishing the prizefighter. Randy could blame Cody for all the chaos between them, and both men can lock horns at WrestleMania 41 in a dream match. The Rock is on Solo Sikoa's side. The problems for Solo Sikoa and his bloodline have escalated, as the latest episode of SmackDown saw the original bloodline reunite. Following this, WWE may have confirmed the War Games match between these two factions for the upcoming Survivor Series Premium Live event. However, it seems the self-proclaimed tribal chief has teased that The Rock is on his side. As the Bloodline saga unfolds week after week, fans and analysts have suggested multiple theories around the storyline. One name that has been mentioned numerous times is The Rock. The final boss came back to WWE in the final moments of the Bad Blood 2024 Premium Live event and shocked the world. However, he did not utter a word as he stood on the entrance ramp and set his sights on Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. On the recent episode of The Blue Brand, fans pointed out a subtle hint that the self-proclaimed tribal chief had dropped, which indicates that the final boss may be on his side. He was wearing the Great One's iconic turtleneck and silver chain on SmackDown that could be counted as an Easter egg on what to expect in the future. The iconic look is from The Rock's early days. It could be a hint that the final boss has been guiding Solo Sikoa personally and has asked him to follow in his footsteps to eventually become the next version of himself. During Triple H's reign as head of creative, we have had multiple cases where the Stamford-based promotion drops small hints for fans to build anticipation for any feud. The same can be seen in the Bloodline saga. This is not the first time the Street Champion has been seen hinting at The Rock's involvement in the storyline. Eagle-eyed fans captured Solo Sikoa revealing massive details when the final boss made his comeback. He was caught saying this was all part of the plan while on the staircase at the Atlanta event. On SmackDown, while exchanging words with Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa challenged him to a War Games match, hinting it would be a regular 5 vs 5 match, and counted Sami Zayn as his 5th member. However, things didn't go as planned when Zayn kicked him in the face and decided to remain associated with the OG Bloodline. Although it was never revealed who could be the final member of the Bloodline, Sikoa's confidence reflects he still has an ace up his sleeve. Thus, The Rock could reveal himself as the 5th and final member of the faction, and shockingly, he could disclose that he was the actual mastermind behind Roman Reigns' decline. It will be interesting to see if the final boss is actually behind Roman Reigns' downfall, and whether he reveals himself as the 5th and the last member of the new Bloodline for the War Games match. Fans must stay tuned to find out. 2. Paul Heyman will betray Roman Reigns. The Roman Reigns Bloodline story continues to evolve as the two massive versions of the faction are now set for War Games at Survivor Series 2024. Roman Reigns, once he gets his tribal chief status back from Solo Sikoa, would then look to regain the undisputed WWE title. However, Hall of Fame veteran journalist Bill Apter feels Roman's wiseman, Paul Heyman, would betray him down the line. With The Rock also seemingly involved in the storyline, a lot of twists and turns are expected to surprise the WWE universe. Heyman has been missing since he was attacked by Solo and his goons some time back, and his return is highly anticipated by the fans. During a live Q&A with Bill Apter on Backstage Pass, Bill addressed the anticipation among fans over Paul Heyman's return and alliance with Reigns, and stated that the veteran could betray the original tribal chief in the future. The legend then drew a possible story map for the same, which, if happens, would add a lot of attraction to the bloodline story. I think he'll return back out with Roman because they belong together, and I think it'll be a long time, you know? If Roman wins the title back with Rock beating Cody and then Roman gets the belt back, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns being together again, people are gonna want to see that. And then somehow Paul Heyman screws Roman Reigns, stated Bill Apter. While there have been some disappointing updates over Heyman's return to the company, it is clear that his eventual return would be accompanied by a lot of cheer for the WWE Hall of Famer. While fans continue to anticipate the legend's return to the Stamford-based company, it would be interesting to see if he would stand with the original tribal chief or against him.